Nerd Reactor, roll out.
What's up, Reactorites? John here. It's time to talk about Mortal Kombat. I've been looking forward to this movie. Huge fan of the franchise, and I've cosplayed as Sub-Zero. Big fan of Sub-Zero, so that's what I'm looking forward to. I was excited about Sub-Zero being in the movie, having a very prominent role, and just seeing his moves, his icy moves. And the movie does have some good parts, but it has a lot of bad parts. But let's talk about the good parts. The one that Warner Brothers released, the opening 7 minutes. That was cool, just seeing Scorpion, Hanzo fighting, his origin story, going toe-to-toe with Sub-Zero, Bihan. And it's a story that, any Mortal Kombat fans know about, where he gets killed, he comes back as Scorpion, and he seeks vengeance. And, he gets the cool powers. And with that, after that, I was hopeful. And, just the more the movie went on, the more it went downhill. But other good parts, pretty much Scorpion, he's just badass. And when he shows up, I get excited. Sub-Zero is just also badass too. It doesn't need to say much. Actually, the less he says, the better, especially in this movie, because the dialogue for this movie is just not that great. And another character that I really enjoyed is Kano. Josh Lawson as Kano. This guy, he just knows how to have fun with the role, and he's just entertaining to watch. And I had a blast just going along for the ride with Kano, which is kind of sad because Kano's one of the best parts of the Earthrealm Defenders. And if he's one of the best parts, that's kind of sad because it's just Kano here. It's Kano we're talking about. You're telling me the other characters are just kind of there, kind of bland. Like the casting choice, I felt like it could have been better, but it wasn't. Because you got Ludi Lin as Liu Kang, and you got characters like Kung Lao. You have Louis Tan as Ko Young. You have Sonya Blade. You have Raiden. And I think for me, Raiden's supposed to be this thunder god, the god of thunder. And I believe he was miscast for that. Tadanobu, like I liked his character in the Thor films. But as Raiden is just not that interesting of a character, and he's there in the background, and for the most part, he was just complaining about the Earthrealm Defenders, like, this is what we have. Liu Kang, like, he looks cool with the outfit, and then Kung Lao looks cool in the outfit, but some of their dialogue is just, it could be better. I did kind of like their bromance, but they didn't really stand out as characters. They do their cool stuff, but you get to see their fatalities. But yeah, not a lot of screen time for these characters to really shine, especially with other characters like Sonya Blade, Jax. Like, they get some moments here and there, but the one that really gets the spotlight is Ko Young. And people are wondering, like, is Ko Young a character that can help improve the Mortal Kombat world? And no, this character, even though he has some importance in the movie, I felt like it was wasted and squandered, like his storyline on this, where you're trying to set up this world of Mortal Kombat with all these characters, and because you have Ko Young in it, that means all the other characters are pushed to the side, not enough screen time. And because you got to develop his story about how he got the dragon tattoo, his family, why he's so important, why are people after him. And he's the character that is supposed to be like the viewers, where they're watching it, they feel like they're going along for a ride for him, like, oh, what's happening here? But you could have done that with another character. You could have done that with Liu Kang. You could have done that with Sonya Blade. You could have done that with Kano. You could have done that with anybody. Louis Tan as Ko Young, I don't think he was able to carry the movie, and so you have this actor who wasn't able to carry the movie to lead the movie, I think is a very big mistake, a very bad idea. And because that, yeah, Liu Kang, he's just there on the sideline, he's fighting, and then Kung Lao's fighting, Sonya's there and then doing stuff. So they're kind of there to help support Ko Young. And I'm like, no, I don't like this. And let's talk about the villains. Shang Tsung, Chin Han as Shang Tsung. Oh my God, such a miscast. Like, he was not threatening at all. He looks silly in his outfit, and there's parts where he's doing a move where he's stealing the soul of somebody, and I'm like, oh, this is so terrible looking. MacLeod Brooks as Jax. There's not much you can do with the script that he had, and the moments that he did have it. I can kind of dig this, but then the storyline they had with Jax, with his arms, it felt unintentionally funny, dealing with him and his, like, if you've seen the trailer, you know that Sub-Zero breaks his arms. You got CC Stringer as Melina, and she doesn't really do much other than just help Shang Tsung. She doesn't really do anything that's cool. And so that character is just bland in the movie. And then you do have some characters, obscure characters from the Mortal Kombat universe, like Natara. I think that's how I haven't played the game where she's featured in. And there's a good reason that she's not a popular character. And in this movie, the less said about her, the better. And as I mentioned, like, the characters do fatalities. So the fatalities that they do, it's pretty cool. Like, they did it. They have these fatalities. Almost every character, like almost the good characters, they're able to pull off some fatality. But it's not like, whoa, this is so awesome. Because if you really want to see cool fatalities, you have the video games. The video games are already there. And I even like the fatality in the first Mortal Kombat movie. Even though it's PG-13, like, there's still some weight to it. And it's like the build-up to doing that. Like Johnny Cage fighting Scorpion in the first film. Johnny Cage slicing Scorpion's skull off. It was pretty cool. If you're a Scorpion fan, you'd be like, no, they can't do that to Scorpion. But still, as that goes, like, I enjoyed that. Here, like, when the fatalities happen, it just happens. And you're like, okay, I did it. There's no build up to those fatalities. And then going back to the villains again, we got the Earthrealm side where it just feels like it's rushed, and the pacing is too fast, where it's just like, all right, let's meet a new character. Oh, you already met Liu Kang? All right, let's meet another new character, Kung Lao. Let's meet another new character. So you don't really get to feel for any of the characters, and when they're talking about their history or their past, you don't care. And then for the villains, the villains are so hokey. Like Shang Tsung, I didn't like his the performance as Shang Tsung. Then you have Cabal, you have Natara, you have Melina, and just kind of there. And whenever you're seeing them, it's just Shang Tsung sitting on his throne, and then there's parts where he's walking in and out world, and it's like, what are you doing? You're just standing, and then you're walking, and then you're standing. Like, he doesn't do a lot that's really cool. Cabal was like the most. He's a cringy character. Like, his accent, the way he talks, the way he moves when he's talking, I'm like, this guy is like a cartoon character. This guy's a joke. He just reminds me of an 80s cartoon villain. It's like, it's just that cheesy. It's that bad. I'm Cabal, like, what's this guy doing here, huh? It's like, oh, stop. You can tell the director is a fan of Mortal Kombat. The director is trying to add in all these Easter eggs, all these references. And some of the references I did get a kick out of. Like, they made a reference of Ed Boon and John Tobias, their names. Like, have Noob Saibot, it's spelled backwards. So in this movie, they have a reference to their names just mixed around. I was like, I got that. But, like, even though he's a fan, I think he was a bad choice as a director for this film. And, sometimes you can get a director who's a fan of the material and they can work magic. But here, it's just a cheesy movie, rush. I didn't care about anything. Action's just, okay. It's not like the greatest. And with Mortal Kombat, you know, having the first film and then Mortal Kombat Annihilation, I wanted something more, something cool, because the video games, when you play them, they're cool. Even though they're having all these weird characters and powers, it's still awesome when you're watching it, and it's badass. The violence and the story, even like the new games, the story. I enjoyed the new stories of just the Earthrealm versus the Outworld soldiers just coming together. Goro, you know, Goro's in it. He doesn't do much. He's just a goon. He's just a glorified goon. That's it. And you watch it, you're like, that's it? That's it of Goro? And it just makes me, like, watching that just makes me want to watch the first film again, just to see how they pulled off Goro in that one, where he's very menacing. Everybody's scared of him. Here, you know, Goro, his CG is pretty cool. But other than that, there's no build-up, because he's just a goon. That's it. And, you know, you watch the trailer, he's going after Cole Young. And this movie is filled. It's like, I think this movie, I don't know if they're trying to be serious, but they know that they're being cheesy. Because at the end of like almost a lot of the fights, the character has to say something just to make a reference to Mortal Kombat, where it just kind of feels out of place. Like, you can say it once here, but it's like every character is doing it. Like Liu Kang would say something, and others would say something like after they defeat someone, like, "Oh, flawless victory." You know, Kano wins. It's too much. Like in the first Mortal Kombat, I know they've done that. Shang Tsung said flawless victory and all that, but it was timed well. It was the placement for those lines. It wasn't too much of it. They weren't like just putting it in almost every single fight scene. And here, it's like almost every fight scene, there's got to be some line after they defeat somebody that tries to make a reference to Mortal Kombat, which, you know, it's still kind of, you know, sometimes you can't just jam in a reference just because, like, oh, the fan's going to like this. Let's just put this line in here and put this line in here. Flawless victory, fatality, and just have the character say it at the end. It just feels out of place. I'm just going on with just how much this movie displeases me. And hopefully, you know, when you watch it, you enjoy it. I hope you guys enjoy it. I wasn't a huge fan of this. The story, the characters, the acting for some of the characters, dialogue, I just rolled my eyes. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know what your thoughts are, you know, once you are able to watch it on the comments below. With that said, I'm John, and I'll see you guys next time.